Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sport. For some breaking news, the Lions have announced their travelling squad for their EPCR Challenge Cup clash against Montpellier this weekend, and it is very much a rotated squad. And I'll tell you what, it's a team at the moment very much under the microscope for all the right reasons. They're a side that on the back of beating the Sharks, people have really started to sit up and say, you know what, this Lions side sort of bears some comparisons to that Lions side that made the Super Rugby finals, in that it is a team of non-stars, to be perfectly honest. No current international players, for example, a lot of youngsters, but they're getting results, and they're playing above sort of probably the level that people would expect them to. And because of that, they've actually earned themselves the right to be able to rotate their squad and send a weakened side to Montpellier while still being pretty confident about going through to the next round of the Challenge Cup. So before I look at the squad that's been taken, please do smash the like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Right, so we saw them take a weekend squad beginning of the season, to be honest, in the Challenge Cup, and they played against USAP or Perpignan, and they won. And that was massive because, you know, they took a bit of a risk, but it paid off. And now they really can afford to take a very rotated squad, leave all their stars. You need to be nice and fresh for the the rest of the month. Got big games against the Bulls coming up, for example, and potentially Challenge Cup playoffs. And it's going to be really, really cool to see the Lions try and go into the playoffs as one of the more formed teams and see how far they can go in this Challenge Cup. But in terms of the squad, this is who's going. So we look at the backs there. Andres Kutsia, Eric Cornier, who's obviously in his first season at the Lions, made that move back from Italy. Bolden Hansen, young wing. Jordan Hendricks, so he came off the bench and looked pretty good the past weekend. Renat Juncker, Gianni Lombard, Johan Mulder, Stian Pienaar, Manny Russ, Nico Steyn, the young prodigious fly half. Scrum off rather, and then KADE WOLHUTER, who's good and fit enough to travel, which is really good to see on loan at the Lions, and be very interested to see how this sort of team shapes up. You know, you've got three fly half options in the form of Jordan Henderson, Johnny Lombard, KADE WOLHUTER. I just could see her coming full back, so very keen to see how they sort of fits everybody in here. The forwards are Mornay Brandon, Eisen Esterhazy, Cornet Fourie, Travis Gordon, Taron Landsberg, one of the few sort of regular players or regular squad members recently who makes the trip. Morgan Nordier, Etienne Oosthuis, and Heiko Pullman. JC Pretorius, very keen to see him get some game time. Reynard Roots, Hanru Sergel, Ruan Smith, Ruan Strali, Conrad van Vuren, and Jakob Asahi, who will captain the side over in France. It's still there's a couple of good players here, a couple of exciting players. I think that's the main thing. You know, for example, Nico Steyn, a Bolden Hansen's a nice player. Very keen to see what KADE WOLHUTER can do in the forwards, for example. JC Pretorius, very exciting, but the funny thing is that it's amazing how the Lions, a couple of months ago, probably would have been looking at this going, we probably might have to end up sending quite a strong squad, or we're going to forfeit the Challenge Cup playoffs, or at least our good standing in the Challenge Cup playoffs. But they currently actually are undefeated in the Challenge Cup. And if you look at the table, despite being drawn in a pretty difficult group, they're currently sitting 1 point behind Montpellier after 2 games. You know, so very, very keen to see how they go, because obviously they're beating Newcastle, hammering Newcastle really, and then they welcome Ospreys at home in next weekend on Sunday. So I think they're perfectly placed to finish second in that group, which means that they've got every chance of getting a reasonably good draw in the next round. And I'll tell you what, dare to dream. Well, I think the side at the moment doesn't really know too many boundaries. I think that they're so fired up on the last couple of games that there's so much self-belief in the squad that I think that they genuinely believe that they can go quite far. And very, very keen to see just how far they can go, and both in the Challenge Cup as well as to see if they can make top 8 in the URC. So let me know what you think of the squad, as well as what you think their chances are of making it to that top 8 in the URC down in the comments below. Please do smash like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steve. I'll chat to you soon.